And we are live. Go ahead and introduce yourself for
What
anyone
up?
who is questioning you and like, who is this?
Who is this? What's that?
For anyone who's like wondering, who is this guy? Or like, I haven't seen this guy in a while. He looks way different. You can go ahead and say who you are, your name and stuff, and what you did.
My name is Uncle Shady. I used to be in a band you may have heard of called Hollywood Undead.
Yeah, it was a good band. It's a really good band. I really enjoyed it, and I especially loved the songs you were in back then. Like, my favorite one was probably "Dead in Ditches." That was a really good one.
Yeah. Not sure if I'm on that one actually.
Um, I think you did the screams for it, but I don't think
maybe.
you were. Yeah, you probably weren't like there in the studio when they or like Deuce's
Yeah.
house. I think that's where you said they.
I think
filmed
that
it.
was like I think they were working on that as I was leaving and I might have been on it. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever heard that song maybe.
Yeah, because it's funny. During when you were reacting to Deuce's song "When We Ride," it was a sample of "Dead in Ditches," and then you mentioned that you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Sometimes like fans of Hollywood Undead will assume that I'm a huge fan of Hollywood Undead also. Just I get it, you know, like I kind of understand what they're thinking, but I haven't really, I mean, I've only listened to them ever since I was in the band on, you know, when I'm doing these shows. Just because I just, you know, it's just not I've moved on to other things. But it's fun. I mean, you guys seem to really like the videos, so I try and do it every once in a while.
Yeah, I personally remembered when you released your video talking about Obama with the whole ending the war, and I was like, hey, this guy doesn't just talk about, old stuff. He talks about like stuff from that time, and I was very interested in your political videos, which I'm glad you still kind of do them in,
Yeah, those were along that one, especially. That was like 2012. That was a long time ago. That was the status of forces agreement that ended the war in Iraq. And yeah, Obama was trying to keep it going, but they wouldn't let him. That was one of my first videos. That was like the first dozen videos I made. I looked like such a baby back then.
Little Uncle Shady, he grew up. My next question, funny enough, mentioning Bush. This is a question I had written down a while ago. Did you ever see the movie Fahrenheit 9/11? And if you did you agree with Michael Moore's opinions on George Bush?
I think oh, wow, Michael Moore, holy crap. I haven't thought about that guy in a long time. I'm pretty sure I saw that. That was the one about 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. His opinions on Bush Jr.
Yeah, George W.
Man,
Bush.
I don't remember. I mean, isn't he super liberal? Michael Moore?
I believe he was a leftist.
Yeah, he's super liberal guy. What was his opinions on Bush? Maybe you could remind me.
He was a huge hater of him. He believed he rigged the election. He was one of the biggest parts in 9/11 causing it, and he had spent most of his presidency doing wars, and by the time the war ended, by the time his presidency was done, he ended it because he quoted that he was a war president.
George Bush Jr. was definitely runner-up with Trump for funniest president ever. That's definitely something. George Bush Jr. was hilariously dumb, like really like there's a video on YouTube called "The Best of George Bush Jr." and it's just kind of like it's like a half hour long of him just saying like the dumbest stuff, and it's really funny. He was funny. I know, the whole Bush family's kind of sketchy. George W. Bush, George Jr., his middle name's Walker, which is, I lived in Central America for a little bit. And there was this guy, William Walker, who after the Civil War got a army together and marched into Central America and tried to take over Nicaragua. And he took over Nicaragua actually for a while, but then the Hondurans came down and killed him. But he tried to start Nicaragua as a slave owning state for Americans that still wanted slaves. And that's who George W. Bush Jr., W is Walker, named after that guy. So that kind of tells you the morals of that family. And that's only one of the probably hundreds of stories of sketchy stuff connected to the Bushes. I mean, so Michael Moore, most people in the United States, they're in the two-party paradigm where it's Democrats versus Republicans, and that's all they can think about. And Michael Moore is kind of in that headspace where it's like anything Republican or conservative, they just hate it, and that's the same way it goes for Republican. And it's not very smart. It's kind of it's like blind. It's just you're backing your team no matter what your team does, and that kind of leads us to where we are today with all the problems that we have now. People just kind of thinking, and just voting for their party no matter what, no matter who the person is, or rejecting the whole system in itself because it's like they don't give us any cool candidates, so like why vote for the lesser evil? I kind of am not really into politics anymore. I do a lot of political-ish stuff, but I don't follow American politics like most people do anymore. In 2012, Ron Paul ran for president, and I was a big part of the campaign, like helping grassroots and fundraising and stuff like that. And he was getting more votes than anyone, and they just took him out. They didn't kill him, but they took him out of the race just because they just decided to change the rules. And after that, I was just like, okay, well, there's no point in doing this anymore if they're not even gonna let you pick who you want. It was kind of pointless to waste a lot of time and energy when that they can just change the rules, and you just spent all this time and energy on some candidate who's really not, none of these people, whoever president is, things just keep going the same way. They don't change that much stuff. So it's all kind of just like a reality TV show to keep us distracted from the idea that we don't really have a choice and that our votes really don't mean anything. But I don't know if that answered your question.
I mean, it did somewhat. This question actually comes from a friend of mine, named Margot. Who do you think caused 9/11? Because I know you kind of a conspiracy guy yourself. Ooh. Do you believe in the USA conspiracy, or do you not?
I would have to say the powers that be, which is kind of vague. There was an obvious, the powers that be / Israel. We needed, oh boy, this is a big one. I'm gonna, instead of answering that, I'm going to say on YouTube, there's a lady named Judy Wood, Dr. Judy Wood. If you look up Dr. Judy Wood directed energy, a lecture will pop up, a lady in a white lab coat and in front of a bunch of people. I would highly recommend watching that because it's gonna kind of blow your mind. we really didn't know what we saw, when we all watched that happen. And it's most likely that there was definitely some sort of inside something going on. The tower wasn't taken down by planes. It was basically like blown up with weapons that the government doesn't let us know about, directed energy weapons. The government has lots of technology that they hide from us. The powers that be have lots of technology that they hide from us. They have batteries that last forever and stuff like that, but they don't want to give it to us because they'll lose money from that. Yeah, I would watch the Judy Wood lecture. I think Judy Wood knows the most about what happened that day. She's an actual scientist, and she did a scientific study of what happened on 9/11 and came to some really, really, really interesting conclusions. But yeah, we needed the powers that be needed the U.S. in more engaged in military stuff in the Middle East for a lot of reasons, mostly to take care of Israel. But yeah, I think that's about it. Dr. Judy Wood. Watch everything that lady's put out. She's a really cool lady, and it's very easy to understand. She's a scientist, but she knows that she's talking to just normal people, so she lays it all out very easy. Most people don't know there was a hurricane going towards the Twin Towers that morning. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
There was a huge hurricane heading towards New York the morning of 9/11, but no one talked about it. I'm not going to get completely into the Judy Wood stuff, but you guys should watch the Judy Wood lecture. It's mind-blowing.
I will definitely check it out after this. I will definitely check it out. Recently, this musician named Cole Harris did an interview on your old friend Deuce, and in that interview, Deuce had said that he had talked to you and you both are on good terms. Is this true?
I think he said that he talked to everyone but me, but the interview before that one, he said that he never knew me, never met me, and that I was making things up.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I remember when you mentioned that he was messed up in drugs and stuff, and it's true. If you were to DM him on any account, he will either say the name Undead of the song, or he'll ask you for money, and it's crazy what he's going
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I tried to get a hold of him. I tried to get some people, some of his friends that grew up with him got a hold of me, and I tried to hit him up, but he didn't respond. I don't know if it's even drugs. I think he's just got mental health issues he's not working on. Obviously, he was homeless for a very long time and attacked a woman and attacked police officers. And, obviously he's not working on many cylinders. And when I knew him, he was a little crazy, a little too crazy. You all get crazy when you're in a band and you have money and you're partying and stuff. But Aaron, was kind of pushing the envelope with certain things. And, he obviously the fame went to his head more than anyone else in the band, really. Because he just kind of, he self-destructed like so many rock stars do.
There's another good question I would have. I remember seeing a photo. There's a photo of you and Jarrell together, and it looks like a modern photo. So I was gonna ask, what's the context of it, and do you still talk to any other members besides Jarrell? And if so, are you guys on good terms?
Well, I've always stayed a hold of Jarrell. He was kind of I mean, he's the coolest one for sure in the band. But that picture was on their tour bus when they were playing in Hollywood. They were on tour with Baby Metal. It was some like really lame tour. And Jarrell hit me up and he was like, swing by. And I just hung out with them for a minute. Saw the boys again and they went and played, and I had a different concert to go to. But that picture was just, while I was there, I just pulled my camera out and took that picture because I knew you guys would love it. And I wanted to see, and I wanted to prove, I wanted evidence that he stole my neck tattoos.
Yeah,
he got the same tattoos as me. I was like, what is that? Because I hadn't seen him in a long time. Well, that's my exact tattoo on my neck. You got my exact tattoo. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that sounds very nice to reunite with friends. What's another good question I got is, have you released any music ever since you left the band?
You were breaking up a little, but I think you were asking if did release any music or if I'm going to.
Kind of both. Yeah, both kind of.
Okay. I don't think I released anything. No, I didn't release anything. I worked on several projects over the years. I'm going to do something at some point. I've just been waiting for the right time, and it's been feeling like it's been closer to the right time recently. But I'm definitely not, like, there's no way I'm going to die without putting something else out at least like one more time. Just for fun, not anything super serious, but, yeah, for sure. Going to do music soon.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Another good question I have from the same person, Margot. Can you still do the iconic screams that you did in the past, or did your voice kind of lose it?
Hell yeah. No way. I'm better now.
Oh, really?
No, I could definitely do that stuff again.
Because I would say
we play music, or we're playing music together, and we were thinking it'd be funny to like cover one of the original songs, the ones that I was on, but like just do a different version of it. It might be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be nice to hear the iconic screams again that were. What's funny is in some of the lyric videos, whenever it's your screams, they would either say Deuce did them or the Curls did them.
Yeah.
Would that upset you, or do you just not really care? Do you just like brush it off?
I mean, after I left, they did everything in their power to wipe me off of the existence of Hollywood Undead. So yeah, I saw that. They even put out those rarities, the B-sides album. They put out like some like B-sides album, and I'm all over that album, and there's no thanks or no mention that I did those vocals or anything on there, which is like a real big no-no in the industry to not give someone credit. But that's the extent that they went to get rid of me. They put out music with me on it and didn't even, no shout out, no nothing. And those dudes still dress like me to this day. They got their whole image from me. Like they all have tattoos on their hands because of me. They all, like they had they had no real look going when I met those guys. So it's just funny how much I gave them, and how little tribute they paid, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Jarrell always has. Jarrell's always been cool, like in interviews and stuff when people send me stuff, but everyone else, I've seen them talk a bunch of shit, and it's like, fool, like, you know, the truth. Like, you know, you used to make fun of me because I'd seen hair and stuff, and then now you're Mr. King of the Scene, you know, like it's kind of funny. But, you know, that's just how things went. Those guys have lots of, you know, like musicians have big egos, and they didn't like the fact that I was a major part of the image of the band. And so after I left, they had to turn into me to kind of like cover it up or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty sleazy. It's pretty slimy. It's not a cool thing to do in the industry, like in bands or, you know, like anything like that. I could sue their brains out, but I don't really care.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. This is a question that I've been wondering since you talked about this. Skrillex, do you still talk to him? And if not, when was the last time you talked to him?
Oh, last time I saw Sonny was at when he got all the Grammys. Went to the Grammys with him, and then Diplo. He was like best friends with Diplo at the time, and Diplo got an Oscar or a Grammy too, the same night, and he wore Sonny's phone number across his chest. And so ever since then, I haven't been able to get a hold of him. And obviously since then, his life has been pretty nuts. But we were, I mean, I haven't seen him since it must have been 2013 or something like that, when he got all those Grammys for Scary Monsters, I think. I've seen him play a couple times, but I wasn't able. It was at like really big shows where I wasn't able to get back and see him. But we used to DJ together. I took him to his first dubstep show. He was like really young. I don't know if you guys know Evan Thomas 750 Hollywood Undead lore. Evan started bringing him around when he was like 13, and he was just like, look at this guy play guitar, and he put a guitar in his hand, and Sonny would shred, and we'd be like, oh man. And then like he'd get on a piano and start playing, and like we always knew he was going to take over. He's like the kind of guy, you watch him and you're just like, I don't even want to be a musician. Like, I'm not, there's no way I could even be half as talented as this person. So it's very unmotivating. But Sonny has a talent, you know, like serious talent. But he was like 14 hanging out with us back in the day, and we're all in our late 20s. But he was he had just played guitar for Bad Religion, you know, like he was just doing crazy stuff. And then I went on tour, and when he was in From First to Last, I went on tour with him on Warped Tour. That was the summer Hollywood Undead happened, and I went on Warped Tour, and I was seeing kids wearing Hollywood Undead shirts that they had made at home, and I was just like, holy shit, like we got big, like crazy. But that was like year one. That was 2014, maybe 15. No, 2004 or 2005. I think 2005. But I went on Warped Tour with them and came back, and Hollywood Undead happened like right after that. And then he left From First to Last and started Skrillex, and the world's never been just the same.
It really hasn't. Once he joined, it feels like the entire internet kind of changed from old Crunkcore MySpace music to the dubstep remixes. This is a question that I think is a good one, but the memories might be hazy because this is a 2006 thing. There's a video of a performance of the song number 5 from 2006. And the person asked, do you remember anything about this? But it's like an old performance of you guys singing 2005, and you can hear, like, you can tell it's just the original.
Where is that?
I believed it
Pull
was.
it up.
So, You know how you kept mentioning the video of you jumping from the back of the van, but they've never been able to find the video?
Yeah.
That location is where it was filmed at.
Okay, so that was Hollywood and Highland, which is like kind of the main drag in Hollywood. If you guys remember, we were recording on Franklin and Highland, which is just a block up from there. So the day we were doing the music video, or that for a month previous, we told people we were going to be playing on the corner in Hollywood and Highland. And and so we took the subway. If you're watching the number 5 video, you'll see it. We went down the subway and took the subway to Hollywood and Highland and walked up the stairs from the subway to like 300 kids piled up on the corner going nuts. And we didn't perform the song. They had a speaker playing it, but we were just acting like we were performing it, because if we were actually wanted to perform, we would have had to spend money on that music video, and we didn't spend any money on that music video. We didn't have money to spend on that music video. We hadn't gotten a record label yet or anything like that. So that was just grassroots fans showing up on a corner because we asked them to be in the music video. And that was the craziest day of my life. That was nuts that day. Just, I don't know, just having that much attention.
It definitely sounds crazy. We had a lot of questions written down that my friend Dominic had written down. Dominic, do you have the questions opened?
Yeah.
All right. If you could put that in the private chat, the questions, so I can read them out, because I completely forgot them. My memory's hazy too. I'm forgetting a lot now. But there was a lot of good questions we had. One of them I do remember though.
I have one.
This every question, please. There's this one running joke question that's been going around that I don't understand, and maybe you do. It's about the color yellow. I don't get it, but do you have any opinions on the color yellow?
Wait, ask it again.
It's about the color yellow, about opinions and stuff about it, because I don't understand it. I really don't, but they keep asking what your opinion on the color yellow is.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Yellow is the same as yella. I know Jesse James didn't like the yellow cars and stuff because it meant yella, meant you're scared when you're yella. I don't know. Yellow, high vis yellow is the brightest color. I ride bikes a lot. Me and her ride bikes, and out on the road we wear a lot of high vis yellow because it is the brightest color, and so it is a color that I embrace. And also the anarcho-capitalist flag is black and yellow. I don't mind yellow. I've always liked yellow as a color. If that's a good enough answer.
Yeah, I really I didn't understand it, so thank you for clarifying this.
Okay.
This
I don't know.
There's another question. My personal friend, ironically, their name is Jarrell too. No connection there, but
No
they're
way.
asking. Yeah, it's a no
Same
way.
way?
Yep, same way.
No
same
way.
Yeah, it's funny.
Isn't that Superman's dad was named Jor-El or something?
I believe so. Yeah. So yeah, but it's
some Scientology stuff.
But it's the exact same way as J-Dog. This question is: do you have any pets?
Yeah, I have a cat that looks like this cat right here, this orange cat. His name's Steve.
Aw, Steve. Do you have any more, or is that all the cats you have?
That's the only cat I have. We have some mice that are running around outside, but no.
Oh. This one, I remember in your, I believe this is the Deuce when we ride, or Story of a Snitch. You mentioned that Deuce and Jeffree Star had hooked up. What do you know about this fully?
I heard some stuff, but I can't 100% say. But I did hear something, but it came from Jeffree, so I can't really say.
Funny enough, when Jeffree Star was live streaming on TikTok, I asked them about Deuce, and they blocked me instantly.
Who?
Jeffree Star. They blocked me after I asked them where Deuce was or how he was.
I'm not surprised.
That was just
that situation was just like a mutual help each other get better, like get each other's following and stuff. I think Aaron. I was friends with Jeffree Star back in the day, and I got him to come and do the song with us because I knew it was going to be huge for us, because he had so many followers on MySpace. And Aaron was horrified of him. Aaron told me that I had to call him and tell him to wear normal clothes and tell him to not wear makeup and stuff because Aaron was like literally scared of Jeffree back in the day. And so I had to call Jeff and be like, dude, sorry, it's being dark over here. Could you just like dress low key? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And he came over and we did that song. And that same day we put it up. And I think we got 3,000 followers overnight, which on MySpace was insane. Like insane. MySpace, it was hard to get followers back in the day. Things were much smaller. So after once he got his band, I think he just thought that might work again. So he went and did a song with Jeffree, who at the time I think was actually doing more music anyway. Because I remember Jeffree going on tour a couple years after doing that song with us, and it just being a complete shit show. But yeah, I think Aaron was just trying to thought that he'd be able to get a bunch of fans if he did the song with Jeffree again. But I don't know if that actually worked. But it definitely didn't give him the success it did the first time we did it.
Yeah, but his song with Jeffree, Let's Get It Crackin', I believe that's a really good song for a startup album.
I hear you guys all love that song. I hear that song a lot. You guys talking about it. I think I might have done a response to it, but yeah, I don't, maybe not. I don't know. Some of his videos are just, oh my Lord.
I'm surprised it wasn't taken down, but like it's really like you can tell how rushed it was because none of the other members were there, and it was just tits and ass. That was really it.
Yeah, I think I helped cast that video he did with all the naked girls in it. That was kind of a weird roundabout thing.
Yeah, definitely a weird way to start off.
Like he tried anything. He tried everything in the beginning to get that band going, but it was just not good.
Yeah, definitely. This question is pretty weird. There's I remember there's two stories of how you left and how you got kicked out. There's two stories. There's one where Deuce pulled a gun on you. One where you pulled out a gun on Deuce, and one where Deuce threatened you and you pulled out a gun. So which one is true?
Deuce couldn't even pick up a gun if he tried. The guy's like 60 pounds. No, he never. You guys know that he never pulled a gun on me. He even told the LA Times that I pulled a gun on him. He's crazy. But no, that didn't. Wait. Okay, so. He pulled a gun on me. I pulled a gun on him. What was the third one?
The third one was simply that he threatened you and your family, and that you pulled a gun on him and told him to get out.
Yeah. So that's the party. when he was being all he was like big hip-hop guy overnight with his ego. But yeah, I had to get rid of him. He was threatening people at my house, so he wouldn't leave. So I had to make him leave.
I would too if a scrawny white boy was just threatening everyone I knew at the party and tried to act tough. But that's just me. This is the most asked question. Did you leave or did they kick you out?
Say that one more time.
Did you leave the band or did they kick you out of the band?
I stopped. I basically created the conditions for them to kick me out. I didn't see the project. The project started going in a different direction than I wanted. And I'm like an activist at heart. And like that band wasn't really, at least from what I knew. I know like you guys, a lot of you have been, helped at period of time from the band, like the music and the lyrics and stuff like that. But like, I didn't see it going in the direction that I wanted it to go. And I didn't see it doing any like good for the world, like once all the Charlie Cini's got a big old weenie, all these songs came out, I was just like, okay, well, this isn't at all what I started this band for. I started this band to do something serious. Like every time my girl puts on Suicide Boys, I'm just like, oh my God, dude. Like, that's literally like Hollywood Undead could have been Suicide Boys. Like, so easily. Like, a serious, good. I mean, I know I'm talking shit, but it's just, I just don't. They didn't progress much, Hollywood Undead. They didn't get better over the years. They just kind of kept putting out the same kind of stuff, Like, bands usually, after a couple albums, everyone will get their voices, they'll find their style, but like they're still doing Linkin Park, like I just was, it's when I look at the career of the band, it's disappointing to me. And when I, listen to new music, I'm like, man, this is like what I wanted to do 15 years ago. And now they're doing it now, like Suicide Boys, Zilla, huh? Ghostmane, Zilla Cami, Horrors, what other bands? City Morgue, like that is the sound I wanted to do. And that is, the first 5 or 6 songs, Knife Called Lust, My Black Dahlia, that's literally like these guys are doing the music I wanted to do, that I started that band to do. And it just, like I see the stuff they put out, and I've been watching these videos of their whole career, Hollywood Undead, and it's just a little disappointing that they didn't, grow into their own sound. Like they still were just trying to do this yelly heavy metal, like kind of just like it's been done before, and they did it before. They beat that sound into the ground, and so yeah, it's just when I hear new music, some new music, I'm like, it's disappointing because it could have been a lot of fun, and it could have been a lot different. Not that like I know you guys love the band and all their music, but I just, in my heart, I feel like it could have been a lot better. But that's how the cookie crumbled. Wow, that's the first time I said
that. Oh yeah. This is a question I got from the same person, Margo, again. If Hollywood Undead ever reached out to you and said, "Hey, do you want to join the band again?" Would you accept it, or would you just stick to your own thing?
No, I'd do a song with them though, or like, and like when they toured through town, I'd jump up on stage with them, but I wouldn't. No way. I wouldn't trade how my life ended up. Like I wouldn't like, oh, if I could go back and stay in the band, like I wouldn't do that. I know how that life is. And I talked to those dudes over the years, and, there are periods of times when they all hated each other, and they, I'm like, but you're touring, you're going all over the world. And they're like, dude, we're at every place for 10 minutes and then we're off to the next place. Like, it's not that interesting. And like they've like it's just touring life's tough, man. I went on Warped Tour for 2 weeks and I was over it. It's not very. I could, and that was a big part of the reason, like I explained earlier, like I lost interest in the project and I didn't want to go on tour with those guys because like we were having problems. Aaron and I were not getting along. And then those guys were all Scientologists and I wasn't. So it was always 6 versus 1. The whole time it was 6 versus 1 because I was the outsider because I wasn't a Scientologist.
Yeah,
but
I remember when you talked about it, nobody really believed you until the documents got leaked and then they believed you.
Yeah, no one believed me that they lip synced either. Now everyone knows now.
Yeah, when you watch Desperate Measures,
no, you can see Aaron, everywhere in their live stuff.
Yeah,
Aaron, George.
Yeah, Aaron especially, he was off key, off note every song.
No, I was just telling her the first Hollywood Undead show ever was in either Bakersfield or Fresno. And I drove up like in like costume to go watch them. And they were really bad. Aaron's voice went flat 20 seconds into the first song. And they played like 18 songs that night. And he did most of the vocals on all those songs. And they were just up there yelling no sound into the mic after a while because they were trying so hard to keep going, but they had their voices were all gone. It was so funny. Like I was dying. And then the next time I saw them, they had just done like a world tour and they were way better, but I noticed they were lip syncing and I was like, wait a minute. And then I posted up about it and all the kids, the Hollywood Undead wiki dudes all roasted me so hard for that. Shady Jeff's just lying and he's just mad because he's not in the band anymore. And I'm like, no, sorry. Like Aaron's most definitely lip syncing. George is lip syncing. Because like you can't go up and yell like that. Like I would tell those guys when we're recording, I'm like, dude, you're not going to be able to do this live. You're yelling like hard and you're like a 200-pound unhealthy dude, like you're not going to be able to pull this shit off live. And then when we were rehearsing, I was singing all of Aaron's parts way better than him, way longer with way better. Like every rehearsal we had, he'd go flat 2 seconds in. After the first, we do the song once, we do it again and his voice would be gone. And so I started taking over. And that's really when he got scared because I was in rehearsal smashing his vocals better than he was. And I sounded better too. I wasn't so freaking nasally, even though I am nasally. But anyway, yeah. I forgot what the question was.
It was mostly about most of the talking about Deuce's vocals and stuff. Dominic, do you have any questions you would like to ask before I answer?
What's your channel? What's your channel? I got a bunch of people in my chat over here that want to know what your channel is, so they can go over there.
I feel goofy right now because I messed up. I was supposed to add the little banners, I believe, that I forgot to add. My YouTube channel is That Scaredy Cat. You can subscribe to me there. I mostly post gaming videos though, so if you like gaming, there you go. Yeah. But
cool.
Yeah, but if you're wondering, That Scaredy Cat, it's exactly the same way. But yeah, this is my first. Cat? Yeah, mostly play horror games.
Got it. All right, so back to the question.
All right, so Dominic, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Me?
Oh, no. My friend here.
Oh, Dominic?
Yeah.
Quiet guy?
Yeah, Mr. Quiet Guy. He's mostly like, he's my best friend. Me and him are starting a band, actually, too.
What kind of band?
Are you familiar with the band 303?
Yeah. They came from Hollywood Undead.
Yeah,
303 wouldn't exist without Hollywood Undead.
yeah, they really wouldn't. You guys did kind of invent Crunkcore along with Broken Side. I believe you
Well,
guys
we
did a tour
invented Broken Side. I invented Broken Side, to be specific, because they Michael was like the #1 Hollywood Undead fan in the beginning, and then he was like, oh, I start a band, and then he had the first recording, and he was like, Shady Jeff, we're doing vocals just like you, and I was like, yeah, you did. And then after I left, Hollywood Undead didn't do vocals like me, the like more screechier black metal vocals, I guess you could call them. But that's like, that's like, the kid from Broken Side almost sounds just like me, like. But yeah, what's his name? Punk rock. What's dude's name?
Oh my god.
Punk rock MBA. What's his name? Oh, I don't know. When I saw the video he did, that was pretty amazing. Because I always joked about starting scene kids and stuff, but like he was like, no, you actually did with that video. He did like 2 deep dives. Finn McKenty. Punk rock MBA, shout out.
He messaged me. One thing is, he's asking if you're able to do the scream right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it seems a little bit, too out there right now.
You'd have to pay me lots of money.
Oh, you're gonna do that? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But
I want to share my cat.
I would love to hear your cat.
Where's Steve? Steve talks a lot, but he doesn't. He goes and hides whenever I do podcasts because he doesn't like my voice.
Well,
he once jumped out of the window. He opened the window and jumped out when I was doing a podcast. He was like, "Nah, I can't take it." Like, I know I have an annoying voice, but come on, Steve.
Funny enough, this is one question I personally have thought about for a while. You do mention a lot that you were, during rehearsals, just like now, you were a better singer. Do you have any videos of you singing, at least?
What's that?
Do you have any videos of you singing?
I don't think so. No, I don't think there are any videos of me singing. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I always thought like there would be at least one video out there of you singing the song.
Oh, start harassing Dylan. Not Dylan. What's the other one's name? George, Dylan.
Are you thinking of Matthew?
Little guy. No, not Matt. He's still in the band. The rapper, Charlie Scene. What's his name?
I think his name is. Oh wait, what was his name? Okay, there's
Start harassing Charlie Scene. He has video footage of our original rehearsals, and he has video footage of us in Dr. Dre's studio. I don't know why they never put that out. He's got tons of video of footage of the music video being done. Like, he's got loads of footage. I'm surprised he never put it out.
Yeah.
But you could see me during rehearsals, singing in the studio, singing, like, doing all kinds of shit. But those dudes, they don't want anyone to know that I was in the band, so they didn't. That's like the fact that they didn't re-release the first 5 songs is like kind of insane. And they don't play those songs, which is kind of insane too, because it's like, how could you not play the songs that got your band big?
Well, actually, there was.
They start showing their faces. That's the thing. Like, they ruined the whole cool mystique of the band. Like, we were never supposed to show our faces ever. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Unless you're like the hottest dudes in the world, that's dumb. That's just absolutely dumb. And that was the rule while I was around. You'll go see pictures back then. I'm all covering my face in every picture when I'm taking with people. When I'm picture with Broken Side, cover my face. Like, that's what we did. we were supposed to keep that cool mystique going, but like they just got all ego-y about it, and they're like, oh, we want our faces to be famous, and it's like, dude, you guys, you're not cute.
Yeah. When you mentioned they don't do the songs on tour anymore, I believe in 2015 Day of the Dead tour, they had performed Dead in Ditches, and I believe what's the song called? I don't think you were in it, but I think you were a part of it. It's called The Loss. It was during MySpace era.
Yeah, I think that was right after.
Yeah, they performed both of those live, but they don't perform old songs anymore. They mostly do the same songs that got them popular. Like, I'm talking Swan songs, Everywhere I Go, Undead. They usually perform those songs the most nowadays. So
Yeah.
they have a terrible set list.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah, they really had one. One of your videos, you mentioned that you bought Johnny a Cadillac that immediately broke down.
Yeah, I told him not to buy that thing.
But he got it.
I'm a
anyway.
mechanic, and so I was like, dude, the North Star engines in those Cadillacs are completely pieces of crap. You're gonna pay 10 grand for this Cadillac, then you're gonna have to pay another 5 grand to put an engine in it. And he's like, oh, whatever, and then bought it, and then his engine went bad within like 2 months. I think even our manager at the time too, Jeff something. I think he bought one also. I told both of them that, and both of their cars' engines went bad. The North Stars have their head bolts move out of the head, and the heads pop off. Not good cars. Don't ever buy American cars.
This question is this one. Now, this is like the weirdest question I've gotten, because this is on Reddit. Everything. There's apparently a specific video, a sex tape that people claim that's you. Is it you or is it fake?
Whoa, say that again. I heard Bill Clinton sex tape. You?
No.
Say
Not
that one more
Bill.
time.
On Reddit, they say there's a tape of you, and I want to know if this is true or not, because people say
Most
it exists.
definitely not. Most definitely not.
All right, just had to make sure, because it's funny, because Reddit talks about every time they mention your name, it's another lie. Like, I remember 2010, there was a whole rumor that you had died.
I can't hear you at all. Sorry.
Okay, back in 2010, there was a rumor that you died that was going around.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted to
I
ask.
hear lots of funny stuff though. From
Yeah,
you
there's
guys.
a lot of crazy stuff. This question. This one's actually a really good question. This is more about kind of beliefs in certain stuff. Opinions on circumcisions.
Ugh. Circumcisions are child abuse. They're normalized child abuse. Don't do it. There's no reason for it whatsoever outside of religious or non-religious tradition. Lots of people are very upset, later in life, are very angry that they had something chopped off of them, before they had a choice. Doing anything to any like human, whether it's a baby or not, something like that, it's very not cool, because it's probably not something that your kid would want to happen to them, and it's not for any good reason. Like they try and say, oh, it's cleaner if you don't have it. It's like, just no, like you just shower regularly and you're fine. But yeah, circumcision sucks. It's child abuse, and it's very traumatizing going through an experience like that at that age. It can imprint you for the rest of your life. You could end up a terrorist or something.
Yeah, and this question is kind of a follow-up to that. Were you circumcised or no?
I was.
But
I wasn't vaccinated.
Oh, really?
Never in my life. Never once.
Were you like do you like wonder why you were, or do you just not question it?
No, I wasn't vaccinated. Why I was circumcised? Yeah, no, it was just it was a very trendy thing in the 80s and 70s. It still is, but I doubt, like, I'm sure if my mom knew now what she knew then, she probably wouldn't have done it. I've done fine without it though.
Yeah.
I'm not like I've seen some people that are really upset about it, and I'm not really upset about it. I think it's awful. I think it's a terrible thing to do to kids. And I don't recommend anyone do it, but I'm not, I don't know, I don't know what trauma, how deep, like when you're a baby and you go through pain like that, that's very imprinting. You're not supposed to be going through pain like that. You're supposed to be taken care of by your mother and father, and like things like that aren't supposed to happen. Getting shots, like tons of shots when you're a baby, like that's super sketchy. And it messes your body up in multiple ways, more ways than one.
Speaking of vaccinations, this one's actually a question I got from my friend Anthony here. Did like during like when internet was going around during like the huge vaccination fake news stuff, did you believe that it caused autism, or were you just kind of like, no, it doesn't, but it causes other things?
Vaccinations. I've always been pretty critical of vaccines, and it seems like what I've noticed with it seems like every kid who has autism has been vaccinated. And then I've never met a unvaccinated person with autism, at least that I know of, which that's only my anecdote. But it seems like no one who's got autism hasn't been vaccinated. So it's like, I don't know if it causes it, but it seems like everyone, and it's just like, dude, you can't give a kid that many shots and not expect it to not screw something up. I mean, you're watching all these people that are dying, like, all these athletes and healthy people that are dying because of getting the one vaccine that they tried to force on all of us a couple years ago. And it's like, it's just, you can't force that stuff on people. There has to be a choice if there's a risk. And there's definitely risks with vaccines, especially vaccines that haven't been tried yet. But I think there's probably some truth in vaccines causing autism. I wouldn't be surprised, because you're basically poisoning your kid. Like it's not like it's apple juice and it's like, it's not like it's orange juice and it's giving your kid vitamin C. Like it's a gross petrochemical, like it's like that's made out of oil products, like the same stuff you put in your car. It's very gross, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did cause autism. But it's weird. A lot of autistic people are very smart. Allie's one of them.
Oh, wow.
Funny enough, I actually was diagnosed with autism, actually, so, and I was vaccinated, so now another person.
Yep, there we go.
As do I.
Yeah, as was she.
I had terrible complications as a kid. I just found recently.
Yeah,
My mom says she regrets getting me vaccinated because of how sick I was as a baby right after I got them, which I didn't know until recently at 34 years of age. I'm like, wow, Mom.
Yeah.
What I heard from my mom was when I was born, my heart was not beating, and the doctors had to bring me back to life. And when I got vaccinated, I had to stay in this box for a while.
Hyperbaric.
My heart would stop sometimes.
Incubator.
Yeah.
You're an incubator baby.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, if you already had a complication, why would they vaccinate you on top of it? Like, they're not even that dumb these days. Like these days, if like a baby has a immune problem, they won't vaccinate them till later on in life, at least. But back in the day, they just, I mean, I know they vaccinate more now, though. It's like way more shots. But the vaccines back in the day were sketchier, like the weird polio one in your shoulder. Everyone has, like, people from my era, they have these scars on their shoulders from getting this weird vaccine back in the day that I never got. But it's just sketchy, gross stuff that definitely is not good for your health.
Yeah. This one is pretty weird. Do you have any religious or spiritual beliefs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a natural law anarchist. I believe in I mean, I definitely am not religious. Religion is what is it in Latin? Is relegate, basically relegare, which is relegate, which is control. Organized religion is very organized religion is very controlling. It's been corrupted over the millennia. The original principles of Christianity are very much like natural law, but it's been corrupted over the years and used to control and used against, like how things should be. We aren't supposed to have governments ruling over us and controlling us and stuff like that. It's not the natural state of the world. The natural state of the world is anarchy, where there's no rulers except yourself, and like people, we're all hopefully striving to, a lot these days. It's a lot of people are pointing fingers these days when they should be, looking at their own stuff, and trying to, clean their own room, to say to speak, before trying to, control what other people do. Because if we all did that, the world would be a lot better place. If people were self-regulating themselves, which they aren't these days. No one even talks about it. They don't teach us in school how to socialize correctly. They just teach us how to compete and to be the best and to be better than, and music, the media, movies, hip hop culture, like all this stuff is very materialistic, and it's the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. Materialism is kind of why we're at where we're at, in this mess, being just very self-centered and materialistic, like what they sing about in every song these days and what's every movie. But yeah, I'm not necessarily religious, but I am on a spiritual path of some sort, learning new stuff every day. There's a guy named Mark Passio you guys should all check out. He's a beast.
Yeah, I would say I'm sort of a natural anarchist too. I have a lot of friends who are, and they've kind of showed me what it would be like and told me more facts about it. So,
Cool.
This question is, what's your favorite Hollywood Undead album after the MySpace era?
What's that?
What is your favorite album after the MySpace era?
I'd imagine probably Swan Songs. It's probably their best album. Just because they were trying to release, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I had some influence on them, that's why.
definitely, yeah. This is another question. Since you wear glasses, are you nearsighted or farsighted?
Say that one more time.
You wear glasses, and the question is, are you nearsighted or farsighted?
Nearsighted. Nearsighted, yeah. I can't see far away. But it's very subtle. And especially for my age. I can still see pretty good without them. I just can't, like, read street signs and stuff at night.
I
Great
know,
question.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of videos about being vegan. My question is, do you have any advice for someone like thinking about being vegan? What do you like? Anything to say to them?
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, again, like bringing up natural law. There's basically natural law. There's a way you could live your life that's like positive on the world, and there's a way you could choose to live your life that's a negative on the world. And being in line with natural law is it's basically it's hard to explain in so many minutes, but doing the least amount of harm is really like, if everyone did the least amount of harm, the world would be a far better place. And everyone, you know, like in my opinion, you know, we don't need to eat animals in this time, in this day of age. It's very easy to be vegan. And so if you can choose a diet realistically and still be healthy, that doesn't kill thousands of animals a year, it's much better for the environment. It's much better for your health. It's much better for the mental health of the guy that works in the slaughterhouse. You know, like there are a lot of reasons why, slaughterhouse workers being one of them. There's a lot of reasons why we know we aren't supposed to be eating animals and we aren't supposed to be killing other beings. Slaughterhouse workers always end up with PTSD and having, you know, like very bad crime problems whenever they build a factory farm, a slaughterhouse in a part of town. Crime rises in that area. If we were supposed to be eating meat, these slaughterhouse workers wouldn't be having mental health issues working at a slaughterhouse. Meat would taste really good, and if you eat meat raw, it really doesn't taste like anything. If that was our natural diet, you know, like fruits and vegetables, fruit especially is what we're supposed to be eating. Fruit, you eat it, it like explodes in your brain. The taste is amazing. If you eat raw meat, it tastes like crap. Like, it doesn't taste really good until you put vegetables and salt and stuff on it. But you know, there are moral reasons. I don't think it's moral to eat animals if we don't have to. If you met half the animals that you eat, you probably wouldn't eat them anymore, because animals have a lot of personality and they're really not that different than humans. So me, as someone who's trying to do the least amount of harm while I'm here on this planet, I don't think it's cool to eat animals. And I think the mentality behind eating meat is a big reason why we're stuck where we're at in endless war. Because like, if we as a society were able to stop eating animals, then like the next step would be stop killing people, you know, like pretty quickly. You'd think we'd stop killing people first, but like, you know, like we just haven't figured this out yet. But a lot of the mentality that goes into war and murder and stuff is the same mentality that goes into factory farming. And there's no real reason outside of tradition, simply the fact that we've been doing it for so long, to eat meat still. And we grow enough vegetables to feed every single person in the world and then some. But right now we're feeding half of that food to cows. And when you raise a cow, you put millions of calories into that cow for them to grow up and only be thousands of calories. Like, you're losing food by feeding it to animals. And we're not even getting into the environmental impact of all the farms and the raising of the cows and the growing of all of all the feed for all the cows, the corn and the soy, and it's all GMO, and there's pesticides everywhere, and it's terrible for the environment. But yeah, and it's just it's not healthy too. On top of all the, you know, the moral, environmental reasons, it's not healthy. 300 years of science says it's not healthy. The more meat you eat, the more disease you will have, basically. So the centenarians, the people who live the longest, eat very, 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 very little meat. They eat mostly fruits, vegetables, and carbs. They're who are the centenarians? The Okinawans and the Greeks. They're Greeks. Yeah, there's Mediterranean diet, similar. Yeah, but anyway, it's far healthier. You definitely, like growing up and getting old, like I'm looking at my friends that have been eating meat the whole time I haven't, and it's like, man, they're aging a lot faster than me. I'm 45 and I still have a hot young girlfriend, so like, it must be working in some way. But I grew up vegetarian and I got vegan. I went vegan in the 90s. And then when I was in Hollywood Undead, I was eating meat, eating like crap, smoking cigarettes, drugs, alcohol every night. Like my whole health went out the window when I was in that band. And so once I got out of it, I started piecing my health back together. And so I ate meat for a long time. And so, I know the difference between when I was vegetarian, when I was vegan, when I ate meat, and now I'm vegan again. Like I don't have to worry about my health as much. I remember when I was eating meat, I'd like yo-yo, I'd get really heavy and then I'd get skinny and heavy. And I just like didn't have, I just wasn't in good shape. Eating just whatever you want all the time is not, you're going to be dunzo in life at 50 or 60, you might not even leave to 60 if you just eat whatever you want all the time. All your life, it's going to add up really quick. And so it's always a good idea to eat as plant-based as possible. It's always going to help you. You don't get, like all these diseases, these people having heart attacks, heart disease, all these problems, all this like E. coli and bird flu, this all comes from eating meat. You don't get this stuff from vegetables and fruit. All these things happen from eating meat. It's far more dangerous of a food in general, just to deal with. And then you're killing a sentient being to get that meat. Like go hang out with a cow for the day. You'll feel like a dick every time you have a hamburger after that. Because people, in our society, we're paying other people to go kill animals for us. It's very cowardly. And people, if put in the situation where they're like, all right, are you, here's a garden and here's some animals, like they're going to go pick food from the garden first, like they're going to put off, if not become vegetarian instantly once faced with the fact of having to kill an animal on their own and look it in the face while they shoot it in the head. Most people can't do that, but in our society, we don't have to. We just pay someone else to and don't think about it. But there's a karmic inventory with all of this. And so you're just going to be in better shape for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Rant over.
That was a good rant, though. I learned a lot from it. All right, this question is from my friend Jane, who is wondering if you have any kids.
I have 2 kids, boy and a girl, 15 and 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is the last question I got for the interview. Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to start or join a band?
Yeah, do it all yourself. Don't sign any contracts. Don't get with a record label. Don't get any other members in the band. Try and do everything yourself. SoundCloud, all these dudes are getting huge on SoundCloud. Just do that stuff. Do something different. I really want to see someone like, that people do a lot of sampling, obviously, but like there's a lot of music from the past. I know, like when I do music again, I'm going to be doing a lot of covers because there's so much good music from the past that none of you guys have heard. And it's like, like I'm not arrogant enough to think to like be all, oh, I'm going to make some music and it's going to blow all your guys' minds, like the music I want to do is dated now anyway. But yeah, just don't do a record label. Do everything yourself, DIY, and don't, but have a job during the time. Like, have a real job, and don't just flail yourself into being a musician, because the longest point and two dots is the musician and a dollar that they make from being a musician. Like, it takes a long time to make money, but you guys have it so easy today. It was so hard for us to do back in the day, before YouTube, before every computer having awesome recording capabilities, and our, being able to record with our phones and make music videos with our phones. It's way easier for you guys these days. So just be different, do everything yourself, and be different. Those are the two things. Try and be as different as possible.
All right, thank you for that. Do you have any last things you would like to say
You're
before?
not going to ask me the flat Earth question?
What would you like me to say?
There's a question up here about flat Earth, and you skipped it.
Oh, I didn't read that one. Do you believe the flat Earth theory?
I am agnostic on the subject. I do not believe I don't believe anything that I haven't had enough evidence for, and I have not been given enough evidence on whether either of those, whether it's a globe or it's flat. But I highly recommend people research flat Earth, because it's very interesting, and it kind of opens your mind up to a lot of things. But don't take it too serious, because there are people lying on both sides. I think the Earth is probably something different than flat or a globe. I think it probably, the powers that be are lying to us about everything. They're definitely lying to us about our environment. And I think there might be more land out there. I don't know about flat or concave or square or triangle Earth. I think they're keeping a lot of natural resources from us. I think there's more land out there that they're keeping from us. But I'm not like a flat earther, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I definitely recommend looking into it, because it's definitely some interesting stuff. Eric Dubé is kind of the best. He's got Flat Earth Clues video series that's very interesting and very thought-provoking if you're into thinking, and not just like, thinking about H2ODOMINIC girl, or, like whatever is on Facebook right now. If you want to go and like look into something that like really freaks people out, because a lot of people get really crazy about flat Earth, because everyone thinks that they taught us everything in the world, and everything that they taught us in elementary school is the truth, which the more I've learned, almost everything they taught us in school is BS. So, like, did we land on the moon? I don't think we did. Is the Earth flat? I don't think it's flat. I think it's probably something else. But I definitely think that you shouldn't just believe the government or believe the mainstream or what everyone else believes, because the people that control everything have had hundreds of years and bajillions of dollars to brainwash us to be perfect little slaves, which we are. We're completely slaves these days. We don't really have any choice but to work ourselves to death in their terrible system. So they've been lying to us since birth, to keep us, tax-paying slaves. So would they lie to us about any of these things? Yes, I think they most definitely would. Just like they lied to us about 9/11. Just like they lied to us about the reason we went to every single war we've ever been in. The fact that we're still at war in 2024 is absolutely batshit. But the only reason we're still at war is because we've been brainwashed into being okay with it. When I was growing up, there was like anti-war protests and stuff all the time, and just no one cares anymore. They just care about Black Lives Matters or something, like something else. Which is like, hey, it's not like people aren't being killed by the thousands, like everyone's so focused on like oh, Democrats, Republicans, and it's like, how about we stop the war? But that's why they brainwash us, is because they want us okay with the war and okay giving our money to them when they go spend it to drop bombs on kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So, before we end the interview here, do you have any things you like to say that I didn't ask?
Thanks for having me. My YouTube is youtube.com/@JeffreyPhillips. I do vegan podcast. I do Hollywood Undead videos. I do music reviews. Any videos you guys want me to review, if you leave in the comments, I'll likely do it. Or if you guys ever have any questions about early Hollywood Undead stuff, I'm over there all the time. Definitely like, share, subscribe. But yeah, I mean, you could. I ran my StreamYard also, so you can go over and there's tons of comments in the chat on my YouTube if you guys want to go over there. But yeah, youtube.com/@JeffreyPhillips. Thanks, guys. It's been cool having you guys always show interest in what I'm doing over the years. I appreciate the interview.
I'm just glad you agreed to it. I did not expect you to see it.
Nah, I'm always down. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it was definitely surprising seeing you just go, yeah, okay, sure.
It's funny, I'm getting old, but Hollywood Undead fans stay the same age. It's really weird. Like there's still like 14-year-old kids that hit me up every once in a while. It's so wild. And I'm like, dude, I started that band before you were alive. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like I was born around their first tour album. That's for Measures. I was born that like way before. And what's funny is my older brother was alive during your guys' beginnings, and he showed me your Scene for Dummies song when I was 5 years old, and I've just kind of been a fan since.
No way.
Yeah, my brother was like a huge scene kid back in the day, so he definitely had an impact. Yeah, he had an impact on
What's his name? What's his name?
His name is Jared.
Shout out to Jared.
Yeah, shout out to him for showing me you guys.
Yeah, Allie's got the same story of like being in junior high and someone playing
No, I was in
high school. Yeah.
one of my first high
She's not
school
that young.
friends.
Yeah, I've been a fan for almost my time, like for 10 years. 10 years. Been a fan for 10 years.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how the band keeps getting new fans.
Yeah, but
it's like a rite of passage or something these days for certain kids. Insane Clown Posse, Slipknot, Hollywood Undead.
Yeah, that like those guys, they keep growing and growing, definitely.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, again, thank you for showing up. If you guys wonder who I am, you're like, who is this guy? I will when his live stream's done. I'll be on the comments. I'll comment. That's me. And if you pin that, then you'll know. You'll probably find my comment. But yeah, that's me. If you guys didn't know.
All right.
Well,
if you want to jump over to my channel, there's a bunch of questions in the comments. I'll be over there for a little bit. If you go over there and you can put up the name of your channel and get some followers.
Yeah, but again, thank you for showing up. I would shake your hand if you were here.
Pound it. Boosh.
See ya.
All right, dude. Peace. Uncle Shady out.